The silent monk leans from one foot to the other. He seems eager to move.
I was just getting used to this seafaring life. You know, we could... From the look in your eye, I gather it's time to grab my things and get back to work.
The silent monk leans forward.
Nothing. Damn it. We have to find a way to get this ship moving. We can't let the Magisters catch up with us. We're too weak to fight them again.
This boat's a treasure. Now let's know what to do with it.
I must say, you may not be an Eternal, but you are certainly not as temporary as many of your fellows. Personally, I am just glad that I do not have to walk back to Reaper's Coast. Wind travel may be primitive, but it is at least efficient. Is there not enough reason to speed away? If you must know, there is an excavation site at the Black Pits on Reaper's Coast. I go to seek answers. The only treasure worth digging for. Knowledge. I was investigating a site where several artifacts of my people have been found. Some were even intact. Alas, I was not the only one there. Those red-robed idiots were scurrying about too, trampling precious clues under their ignorant boots. They caught me when I failed to correctly respond to their questions, and dragged me here. Still, it's good to be on the move again. They simply asked me what I was doing there, and I simply told them to be gone from my lands. I may have used the phrase pathetic mortals. Come to think of it, I may have used it several times. Damn fools. The faster we leave them behind, the happier I shall be. Well, you see, I have a rather pressing engagement at the Black...
The skeleton breaks off mid-sentence as he notices your hand. He pulls out a notebook, flicking through it, running a finger down the pages.
Physical contact, voice lowered, coy looks. Good heavens. Is this a mating ritual? Oh, my pardons. I fear I'm rather unaccustomed to your... customs. Although perhaps you would be interested in a companion of another sort. I need to travel to the Black Pit's oil field, near Reaper's Coast. But my attempts at staying under the cover have not gone well to date. Given how well you handled yourself in Fort Joy, I rather think you could be of use. And I am certainly useful to you. So, how about it? I travel with you and aid you in your various chores and tasks, while you help me to remain incognito. Very well. Let's be off.
The girl stares blankly at the space in front of her. She doesn't seem to see you, hear you, or be aware of anything outside of her own head. The girl stares blankly at the space in front of her. She doesn't seem to see you, hear you, or be aware of anything outside of her own head. Now is not the time for a bath.
Good to feel the rolling of the waves.
Did you hear? We're bringing you to Meister Siva, the head of the Seekers. If we can get out of here.
Speak to me if you're looking for hired help. I've got good fighters of every stripe. They know how to keep their mouths shut too, as long as there's gold in it for them. So, what'll it be?
Lady Vengeance.
You keep saying that. It won't save you. I ought to chain you up like that.
I've spotted something.
The door seems like any door, at least at first. Then you notice its unblemished wood. There is no knot, no scratch, no dent to detract from its apparent perfection. The wood groans and creaks. For a moment, you swear a face appears in the wood. A face tortured and tormented, a six-sided shape carved upon its forehead. The face vanishes. The door stays resolutely closed.
Whatever type of companion you need, I can provide.
Pretty nice boat, eh? We got an upgrade.
In combat. They won't let you down.
There's got to be another way to get it going, but we can't find a way into Dallas's room. Maybe you can see something we can't.
You can put a price on the warriors I have for hire, but you can't put a price on the glory they'll win you.
The door remains unmarked. The anguished face appears, then vanishes. The door remains closed. The door remains unmarked. The thud of your fist upon the wood resonates deeper than you'd expected it to. It turns into what sounds like a moan, then echoes away into silence. The door remains unmarked. The door remains closed. It seems you need more than a password to open it. The door remains unmarked. The door stays resolutely... The door remains unmarked. The door remains closed. It seems you need more than a password to open it.
Expert warriors for hire. In combat. They won't let you down.
We've braved the joy, and I lust for further adventure. What's...
The Seeker flexes her arms stiffly. Her joints audibly pop. She sees you draw near.
I owe you, Godwoken. Without your help, I'd likely still be a prisoner around here, not guarding Alexander the bloody Divine himself.
She nods her thanks and immediately winces, laying her hand on the back of her neck.
Good luck getting anything out of either of them. Our special guest is out cold, and the other one ain't in much of a talking mood. All right then, just don't make me regret it. Hope you find something useful. If it were up to me, you'd be swinging from the end of a rope, not locked up in here.
A young magister paces around the brig, tending to the unconscious form of Alexander himself. She leans over and presses a damp cloth to his brow. She notices you observing her. She straightens her back and sets her jaw in a defiant scowl.
Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the Divine Eminence vessel, Lady Vengeance. That's all the information I'm giving to any of you lot, so stow your questions. Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the...
The Magister falls silent, but stares at you with unwavering defiance. The Magister's stare hardens into an intense scowl.
Magister Ranley, Corker's mate of the Divine Eminence vessel, Lady Vengeance. Get away from him, sorcerer. That's the Divine.
Magister, stand down!
Bishop Alexander lies supine on a bare wire cot. Though unconscious, his eyes are only half closed. His swollen jaw hangs open at an odd angle. Bruises swell beneath his eyes, and a shallow gash zigzags from his right ear down to his beardless cheek. Unconscious, he looks more boy than bishop. Someone has wiped the bishop's hands clean and folded them neatly over his abdomen. They rise and fall in shallow, jagged swells. A beautiful six-sided gem rests on the bishop's chest, hung round his neck by an ordinary oiled rope. The gem sits heavily in your pouch.
Preserve me. Alexander's dead? Oh, Malady will have me head on a platter for this.
Hey, don't I know you from somewhere? So, we've got quite the task on our...
The door remains unmarked. The anguished face appears once more. It dips its forehead towards you and waits. A shudder of pleasure racks the figure in the door. It seems to breathe. All of a sudden, all anguish is gone. It gives you the sternest of looks.
I am summoned. Speak the password. Yes, and yes again. The word is spoken. Welcome to the stateroom.
Just one more moment, please.
He clicks together two halves of some type of gauntlet sitting in his lap and turns his full attention to you.
And there. Rescued at last, am I? To whom do I owe my thanks? I'm a prisoner, of course. Do you think I'd be sitting here calmly if I was a Magister holdout? That infernal Dallas woman left me trapped here, too weak to escape. It seems I'm in your debt. Why torture? What else?
He extends his arm and pushes up the sleeve. Beneath, the skin is withered and discolored, as if it were magically decayed.
She used some form of domination device on me, forcing my hands to do her bidding, and I've ruined them in the process. Well, the situation is looking immeasurably better now. You'll hear no more complaints from me. So why don't you tell me all about my valiant rescuers? To whom do I owe my thanks? You undersell yourself. The roster of those who stood up to the Magisters and lived to tell the tale is a short one. I ought to continue what I'm doing here, unless there was anything else. I have particular skills that she sought. Healing, crafting, and more arcane magical practices. She had me enchant a dead cat, for instance, so it would seem alive.